Hi Alex, on behalf of College of Engineering Pune and Impressions 2020, I wish you happy International Artist Day and welcome you to the 5th edition of our fest. For our audience watching, Alexandr Misko is a fabulous guitarist and composer joining us all the way from Russia. He's a well-known fingerstyle guitarist who can captivate his audience with mesmerizing performances. Alexander's journey is truly inspiring and we're really excited to have with him talk to us today.
Hey, hey everybody, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that.
So, Alex, at what age did you start playing a guitar and what specifically attracted you to guitar?
Yeah, I started playing when I was like 12, and I'm not sure what even attracted me in the first place because my parents just presented me guitar on New Year's Eve, I guess, because I loved rap, and if you love rap, then you get a guitar. And then I was just practicing classical guitar with a private tutor on classical guitar lessons, but I was never really a fan of it. I was just spending time there because I had nothing much to do. And then suddenly found I found out about this style of playing, which is called fingerstyle. It's like a modern approach to guitar playing when you use a guitar, not just like a regular guitar, but as the whole orchestra. And people write beautiful music in this style of playing. So I instantly got hooked and started to learn it on my own because my classical teacher couldn't really help me at that point of time, and that's how it goes. So I still enjoy it so much, and I'm just happy to see all the people that are gathered around me and around my music that enjoy it as much as I do.
Whoa, that's a really great beginning. You play guitar in a really unconventional way. So, what inspired you to start playing the guitar this way?
Yeah, thank you. And as I told you before, it's the whole style of playing. It's not my invention. It's not something that I created.
Yeah.
It's been developing for many years, from starting from late 80s, and there are lots of amazing guitar players that inspired me and actually made me what I am now as a musician, as a composer, as an arranger, and whatever. And one of the biggest names, one of the most important ones I could name is John Gom, Preston Reed, Mike Dawes, Andy McKee. I mean, all those guys are Don Ross. All those guys are not like super duper famous big stars, but
Yeah.
they are very important for the guitar scene that I present. So those guys are kind of legends. And if somebody really wants to know my roots of my music, I always send all those people to these guys that I just mentioned, because those guys basically created the style, and I just following their route.
Well, that's really amazing, and that's their invention and your inspiration. So, out of all your creations, which is the song you love the most?
Yeah. So about the my favorite songs, I guess. Um, I don't have any favorites because there are too many of them. But basically, everything what I play, I love to play, and especially when it comes to my original music that I compose, that's it's always a great pleasure and honor to share my songs on live shows that I used to play, like all the musicians. And sadly, now we don't have any shows, and probably there are not going to be any shows for a longer period in the future. But I still can't wait to get back on stage as soon as possible to keep sharing music, because I don't really like this internet thing, musician style.
Yeah.
I really like to play music for real people.
Yeah. Weird Impressions would absolutely love to see you perform live one day. Was there any interesting experience you had while composing some of your songs?
Yeah, there are lots of experiences I've got to I can think of, and basically for me, what was the most interesting is that I have a song which is called Absence, and it's about me being lonely on the road. Because when I start touring and playing in different countries and flying all the time all around, I was thinking, wow, it's so great, it's so awesome. You can finally see the world, you can meet so many new people, get to know new cultures and stuff. But then you, after some time, you realize that you do that all alone most of the time. You travel all alone, you spend all these 24-hour flights just all alone, you and your guitar, and then you play a show and everybody's happy and you chat and you hang out, and then afterwards you inevitably end up being secluded in your hotel room alone again. And I was thinking, oh, that's a problem. So this song Absence was representing this kind of a uh, you know um, mood when you being happy all the time while playing shows, but then you kind of feel lonely afterwards. But then the quarantine thing happened, and I was thinking, wow, nice, I can finally spend some time at home. And then it turns out that I want to go on tour again. I want to travel. It's not that cool to stay at home, even though you don't feel
Yeah.
lonely anymore. You want to play. You kind of want to be lonely because I mean maybe that's my lifestyle that I prefer. So that's why I can't wait to get back on stage.
Yeah, everyone is just waiting for some adventure in their life, and that song seems really great. I would love to check it out after this interview. So, which one of your songs was the hardest one to compose?
The hardest. I mean, regarding the technical difficulty of the songs, of course, if you take a look on my videos, you would see that kind of most of them are kind of crazy and flashy, and some kind
Yeah,
of weird stuff is going on. But most of the time, it's not that complicated because people think it's complicated, but in fact, it's not. And there are some songs that I just never play because sometimes when you compose or when you arrange a song, you don't realize that it's getting too hard, and then you record it in the studio bit by bit, like in short pieces, and then you
yeah,
glue them all together, and then you realize that you can't really play that through because it's too
yeah.
hard. So basically, there are too many of songs to mention that's too hard. But in fact, I'm just happy to see that it doesn't really matter if they're hard or not. There are lots of people who actually try to play my music, and they seem to be very successful in it. So it's always a pleasure to see somebody trying to play my stuff because my stuff is so hard to play. I always make mistakes when I do that, even if the song is not super complicated. But it's such a bliss, it's such a pleasure to see somebody covering your own music because it means that the person put so much effort in it. It means that he or she likes it so much, and that's, I guess, that it's the goal of any musician to, I don't know, to get to the heart of the audience.
Even I've heard some of your originals, and they are really nice. Uh,
Oh, thank
so, did guitar and music help you in any way in your life?
Um, that's an interesting question because obviously it kind of helped me and keeps helping me because that's what I'm doing for a living. I'm a professional musician, even though I don't have a professional certificate of education or whatever. I haven't finished any proper musical school, but it doesn't really matter as long as I have somebody to play to, as long as I have concerts to play, as long as I feel that my audience is here with me. And actually it's not even matter that much because sometimes people ask me like what I should do to get subscribers, what I should do to become famous, I'm famous but I'm not. But in fact it's not about that. When I started doing music, when I started uploading stuff on YouTube, I was never really thinking about, okay, 2 more videos and I'm going to become popular, and I don't know, something like that. It never was like that. I was just enjoying the process. I enjoyed the music. And even now, if I would start playing something that nobody would like, I would be totally fine with that as long as I like it. So that's the whole point. Just staying true to yourself. And when you're true to yourself, when people see that you're honest with them, they would listen to you. It doesn't matter how hard or to understand your music could be. So that's how music helps me. It's just my way of living.
The true passion of music comes through the heart. It was a really amazing word said by you. Finally, what advice or suggestion would you like to give to the young amateur artists who produce original pieces?
Yeah, what I always say is that if you try to find your own unique voice on the instrument or in or your own style, whatever, it's very important to find inspiration in all sorts of stuff. If we talk about music specifically, it means that if you like guitar music, if you like fingerstyle guitar music, like what I'm doing, and want to compose something nice in this style, then it wouldn't be cool if you would be just learning my music or other guitarists' music, because guitar music is just a tiny part of everything what we have around. And if you enjoy different genres, if you try to understand different genres, not only playing guitar, but also, I don't know, trying metal, rock, rap, R&B, traditional music, whatever, there are so many things to get inspired. And then when you have so much of things around you, you can get little pieces, little bits of everything from all the styles that you enjoy the most. And then when you blend it all together, something unique happens, even without you trying to create something specifically. It just happens naturally, and that's the whole point. You never really try to become unique. You never really try to create something that never existed before. Everything what we create is based on our inspirations, because music is about stealing the best things from the best ones.
I'm sure everyone will carry this message in their hearts. Okay, so on this note, I would like to conclude this very fun interview with Mr. Alexander. And on behalf of College of Engineering Pune and Team Impressions, I'd like to thank you for spending your valuable time with us this evening. We would love to have you at Impressions someday. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wasn't that an absolutely brilliant performance? I'm sure it brought back the energy and excitement that we needed on this Sunday evening. But wait, this enthusiastic atmosphere is not fading away anytime soon.
Tune into this channel tomorrow at 5 p.m. and join us for the official inauguration ceremony of the 5th edition of Impressions. None other than Mr. Pankaj Tripathi, yes, Kaleen Bhaiya from Mirzapur, will be gracing us as the chief guest for this ceremony.
Team Impressions looks forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Thank you and have a great evening.